Hello, and welcome to the channel. This is my first time doing one of these on the channel. I hope to be doing many more in the future, and hope to be doing other CS related content in the future. Please forgive the scuff setup. I'm at my family's house right now and had to set everything up. If you enjoyed the video and want to see me grow as a creator, please a subscription would be very much appreciated, and make sure to follow my Twitch channel under the same name. It'll also be in the description. Um, anyways, big news coming outside of the transfer season, very early into the year in February. Passion UA signed Tri and Senzu. It doesn't say in the title, but it says later in the article that they are both actually on loan. So I don't see how this could hurt at all, because you can, if it doesn't work, then you still have the players that you're getting rid of on retainer. Anyways, let's read some of this article. Tri will try his hand outside a South American squad for the first time in his career. Passion Wave also announced the signing of Senzu on loan, bringing the Mongolian to the lineup after he's benched by the Mongols. The news comes amidst a largely disappointing start to the year for Passion UA, who failed to win a series in either of their two international LAN outings thus far, Blast Bounty Season 1 and IM Katowice Stage 1. This should say Krakow. This is Katowice. It's interesting. I think failing to win a single series in either of these tournaments is a massive disappointment for this Passion UA team, who are obviously maybe not aiming to win trophies, but definitely aiming to upset some top 20, maybe on the cusp top 10 teams. And failure to do so at either tournament is definitely a big disappointment for this team. And they've been together for, well, this with Kvem, they've been together for about 5 months now. As a team, JT, Halzer, Grimm have been together since 2022, and Nyx has been with them since the start of last year, I think, 2025. It definitely feels like their team's stagnating a little bit, and they do need a change, especially since they just keep beating other NA teams, but they can't really get a grip on any of the European teams. Um, anyways, I've seen some really mixed opinions about this, especially on part of the Tri signing. And I've got to say, I have no clue what these people are smoking. I think Tri is one of the best offers that Tier 2 has to offer right now. I think he's an incredibly fun opera to watch with some insane highs. I liken some of these moments to things you see from a Monacy or a Molodoi. And I think his lows are very consistent with most operas like average performances, which I think you can compare to Halzerk, which we will get to later on. Um, I think a lot of the opinions I've seen around this that make sense to me are that he's never been outside of a South American team. He speaks Portuguese and Spanish. We know that very well. So see how he does with having to learn English and speak English. And we'll see what this does to the team chemistry. I've been seeing some opinions about Tri's stats against top tier teams, and they have been completely misconstrued. Here is his 3.0 rating at big events over the last 12 months. It's a 1.18. And if you see these matches, most of them are crushing defeats where he manages to put up competent stats. This is a 13-1 against Falcons where he puts a 1.05. Everyone else on his team has a horrendous rating. He is an incredibly consistent player who constantly puts his team on his back. And I think that he could do something very similar with Passion UA, and he can definitely kind of flip the narrative on their head around this team, because I think they can go from I think they will easily be the best team in NA after this, which breaks my heart because I love M80. But I think they'll easily jump ahead of M80, and I think they could rival some top 10 teams in Europe with this roster move. I don't think they'll be a top 10 team just yet. I think they need a lot of time to gel together, especially with the language barrier between all their players. But I think you could see some top 10 upsets pretty soon from this team, especially with a player like Tri on this team, who, like in big events over the past year, 90% of them above a 1 rating. I think that is an incredible achievement, especially on this Imperial team, which, I'll be honest, is not a very good team. I was seeing some opinions around this about how it's a side grade to Halzerk. And I know the map comparison is going to be a little different because Halzer's played more big events over the past 12 months, but Halzer's rating is a 1.03. That's a whole point 15 lower. And I think the eye test shows it that Halzer, well, he can have some pretty high highs. His lows are ground floor. I've seen a Halzerk whiff. I've seen some terrible Halzerk whiffs. Um, and I think it is unfortunately time to move on from a player like Halzerk. I think Try will be a massive floor raiser for this team, if anything. If he's not a ceiling raiser, he'll be a massive floor raiser, and they'll be able to be a more consistent team overall. Next, let's move on to the Senzu signing of it all. Senzu, for unknown reasons, which we won't get into theories here, was benched from Mongols in October, despite being arguably their best player. Um, Now, starting his time last year with the Mongols, he was very, very inconsistent in playoffs, especially. And we can see these with these finishes. They're performing very well. They were getting into the playoffs, but they could never make it out of quarters really, and they would always get crushed honestly in the quarters, and it wouldn't particularly be close. And Senzu was he would always drop off a lot in these playoffs, but as you see later, he really starts to pick it up. At their second place finish in Austin, their second place finish at Blast Bounty Season 2, their first place finish at Esports World Cup, second place at Fisher Playground 2. Um, yeah, he really, in playoffs, he started putting the team on his back like he should. He got over all that stage fright that you see young players get into, these new players on the stage get into. He really seemed to get over that stage fright and become a very consistent player in playoffs. If he can maintain this form after all this time off, I don't know. He might take a little bit to get back into it, but I think this is also a massive upgrade over Nick, who, ooh, didn't know it was that bad. Over the 5 months on the team has a 0.98 rating. That is not incredible. Now, I don't know what role Senzo will be playing because Nick X is a little more anchory, and I don't know if Senzo will be taking over his roles one for one. I really hope not. Um, I hope Senzu. I hope there are some roles that are mixed around. I know it might hurt the team chemistry overall for a little while, but I hope they get. But I know they can get that back on track. These are some good players. JT's a great IGL. Krem is an NA goat. Kvem is very promising. He's very promising. I like Kvem a lot. Um, I think Senzu is a great addition to this team. Who, once again, if he's not a ceiling raiser, which I think he's definitely a ceiling raiser, and I think most people can agree with that, he is absolutely a floor raiser. And I think in a few months we will see this team really competing against a team like a 3D Max, like Gatekeepers of 1.5, people or Gatekeepers of Tier 1, teams above that. I think we'll definitely see them competing against those teams in just a couple months. Um, and looking at the new lineup of Kvam, Grim, JT, Senzu, and Try, I think if they can get over the language barrier and they can get over the any team chemistry issues or role issues they might have, I think just firepower wise, this is probably the best upgrade that we've seen during even during the lackluster roster mania that we just had. I think this is on paper an incredible roster move. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're just subs. They're not officially signed to the team. So if something doesn't work out, as I said, you can just bring Halzerk and Nix back, and maybe they'll pull like when Brokey was benched and he came back and he was all of a sudden better. And then let's hope they can do that. Both the players are better after their little time off, and then they don't regress again like Brokey does. Um, I think at the end of the day, this is an incredible move for this team, and I'm very excited to watch Try in Tier One because I've been loving him in Brazil, and I'm very excited to. Hopefully, I'm right on this, and other people can see what a young talent, what a great young talent this player is. Um, yeah, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a subscription. I promise I'll be getting better with these and a little more organized with them. This is just my first attempt at one of these. Anyways, thank you for watching.